G'day folks, this is Tony here, aka Crypto Aussie, back with another video. And today I want to do an overview of the drip garden, what it is, what it promises, and whether it actually delivers on its promise. So starting point, what is the drip garden? It's actually part of the Animal Farm, which is a yield farming protocol on the Binance Smart Chain, and it's themed around George Orwell's famous novel about the pigs and the other animals on the farm. Animal Farm was launched in early Feb by the well-known development team Forex Shark and BB, and the drip garden is part of this. Now, in the white paper for the Animal Farm, there's a short explanation of what the drip garden is, but to summarize that, it's essentially a simple daily ROI game using a garden concept. So seeds and plants. You plant seeds, create plants, harvest the seeds, and plant them or harvest them. Anyway, we'll go into that in a minute. But it fits well with the farming theme, right? Actually, though, the drip garden predates the Animal Farm. So it started out life in late 2021 as the Manor Farm, and then it was ported over to the Animal Farm when the Animal Farm was launched in Feb. So how does the drip garden work? So let's go back to the drip garden here, to the website. Now, you can see here, the way to get started, or what you need to do to get started, is you need to deposit drip BUSD LP tokens. So where do you get those from? Well, you can get them from PancakeSwap if you want, but the best way to get them is this little tab over here called Drip Liberation. Because if you get them from PancakeSwap, then you pay a 10% transaction tax on the LPs. But if you come in here, and you have to also get separate drip, separate BUSD, and then make sure you got even amounts and pair it together, and it's all a bit of a pain in the butt. Here, you can just bring in your BUSD, and it will automatically pair it up for you into drip BUSD LP without the tax. So drip liberation is the place to do that. Then you jump over here into the drip garden, and you can deposit right here. Deposit your drip BUSD LP. Now, when you do that, you get seeds. You plant those seeds, which gives you plants. You can see up here, I've got 2,580 plants. I've been in this for a little while now, so compounding up my plants. Those plants then produce more seeds. So my 2,580 plants, since the last time I compounded, have produced this many seeds so far, for almost 5 million. Actually, the number of plants I've got produces 222 million seeds a day. So it's a lot of seeds. And in fact, each plant produces 3% of the number of seeds required to create it per day. Now, I'll say it again, hopefully that makes sense. Each plant produces 3% of the number of seeds required to create it per day. So at any time, you can harvest. So if I go down here, if I click on this button here, there's 5 million seeds I've got available here. I could harvest those seeds, which means I'll withdraw them in the form of drip BUSD LP. So the contract would convert them to drip BUSD LP and deposit them into my wallet, or I can compound. So I click on this button here, and these seeds would be converted into more plants, and my plant number would go up, and my seeds per day would go up, and I would be producing more seeds. It's compounding it, right? So that's essentially how it works. You just continually compound and harvest down here. In terms of what it promises, so we'll go back to the white paper for this. You can see here the drip BUSD LP garden game produces 3% daily, or 1,095% APR. Now that's a massive number, 3% a day. So the question is, does it deliver on that? And the answer is, it could. It's possible, but it's extremely unlikely. I mentioned before, each plant that you plant here produces 3% of the number of seeds it took to create it every day. That is your 3%. So strictly by the letter of the wording, it says here it produces 3% daily. Strictly by that, it does. Because the number of seeds that you've invested into the plants, you get 3% of that back every day. However, and here's the trick, the value of the seeds is not constant. So you get 3% in seeds every day, but the value of those seeds is not constant. And in fact, the contract is designed for those seeds to go down in value. Now, they won't go to zero, never go to zero, but it may approach zero in the long term. So you can see down here, actually I won't go to that now, I'll go to that later. The point is, though, that the value of seeds is designed to go down. And this is because the developers didn't want a protocol that rewarded just the early adopters at the expense of people who come in later. So they decided to increase the buying power of new capital over time. And this graph is actually buying power. You can see it on the side here. So the idea is that this buying power actually goes up over time as the contract continues, which reduces the price for new people to buy in and make it fairer for later entrants. And the way they increase the buying power like this is by having a decay rate in the value of those seeds. So the seeds that you produce and the cost to actually get a plant is going down in terms of real money because the number of seeds it takes for a plant is constant, but the value of those seeds, so the amount you're getting in return when you get seeds and the amount of seeds you need to buy up front to buy in to get some plants, that value is going down, less dollars over time. So that's how they increase the buying power. Now, this is actually good news if you're thinking of getting in now because your buying power is high than it was earlier. It's much higher. So the entry price is relatively low. But what it means for people who are already in is that while you always get your 3% in seeds, the amount of drip BUSD LP that you can cash those seeds in for will reduce, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Drop me a comment below if you've got any questions about that. The other factor, though, impacting the returns is that because you get drip BUSD LP when you harvest your seeds or withdraw them, your returns are also subject to the price of the LP token. And that in turn is dependent on the price of drip. So what that means is you could actually potentially get 3% a day return from this in real money. But you need the price of the LP token to rise far enough and fast enough to compensate for the decay in seed value. So if the seed value goes down by 0.1% a day, you need the drip BUSD price to increase by 0.1% a day to continue to get that 3% in terms of real money once you've converted the seeds that you've harvested. Now that's possible, but I wouldn't bank on it. And if we actually take a look at the drip price here, here's the chart from the drip price. This has actually hit a peak in late January down to here. The drip price has been going the other way. So that's been actually compounding or increasing the real value decay of the seed. So it's actually well below 3% now because of the inbuilt decay rate in the contract and the reducing price of drip. Now, that doesn't sound great, but I'm really confident that the price of drip is going to recover from where it is now, and it will actually set new all-time highs in the next few months. I think it'll go back above this number here. I have a separate video that digs much deeper into that. There'll be a link in the description, so check that out if you want to understand why I think that price is going to go back up and reach all-time highs again. But for the purposes of this video, I'll say it's clearly a risk. I'm no oracle. I don't know which way the price is going to go. I believe it'll go up. I strongly believe it'll go up, but I don't know. So you need to take that into account. So the bottom line is, going back to the animal farm here, bottom line is that if you compound more than you withdraw, so you're continually building your number of plants and you're continually getting more seeds and producing more seeds, and the drip BUSD price is stable or goes up, then you can make a really strong return with this. I can't tell you exactly how much because I don't know exactly how the seed price algorithm works, but it will be a strong return. You can make a really good return with this, provided those are in place. So to summarize, just to sort of recap what we've covered, what I like about this is that if you believe the drip price will recover, then this could be a really good way to take advantage of it. 3% return in seeds, less than that likely in real money, but still a really, really solid return. Could be a really good way to take advantage of that drip price going up. It's designed to be fair and attractive for later entrants. So unlike most protocols where the people who get in early get the lion's share of the benefit, this one is designed to reward later entrants as well. So if you're not in this already, and you are looking for something to get your money into and to make a decent return, this one is actually designed to reward people who get in later because you're getting in at a cheap price. So that's really good for you if you're thinking about jumping in. And third, it's a fun game. It's fun to see your garden increase over time. I actually like seeing my plant numbers go up. When I first started this, I had 147 plants. Was my initial deposit, was how many I could buy with that. And I put a little bit more in over time, but mainly compounded it. And I'm up to over 2,500 plants. And I'll tell you what, when the drip price goes back up, this is going to produce me some real good returns. Things you need to be aware of, though. So that's the good things. A couple of things you need to be aware of. One is, like the drip faucet, which was also created by this same team, whatever you deposit and whatever you compound is not recoverable. So this 2,580 plants there, whatever the value of that is, I can't get that out. That's in there, and it's in there for good. Its value is that it produces a whole lot of seeds every day that I can harvest. But once they're deposited or put in, they're in. Now, this is not a bad thing because it actually plays a huge role in sustainability. It's no point promising returns if you can't pay them. And one of the ways this contract is sustainable, it's been around a few months already, and the way it manages to be able to meet the needs of people who want to harvest their seeds, is that your initial deposit and whatever money you compound and deposit after that is not recoverable. But it also increases the risk, right? So you've got to understand that when you put it in, you put it in. Second thing, there is an inbuilt decay rate. I've talked about that already, which means the value of the seed you produce goes down over time. So you need to be aware of that. You need to understand that although you get 3% in seeds, the actual dollar value of that is highly dependent on the drip price, but it also is dependent on the algorithm that pushes down that value in terms of drip BUSD-LP over time. Rewards are paid in drip BUSD-LP and therefore subject to drip. Mentioned that as well. I've also talked a little bit about the team behind it, Forex Shark and BB. They're really well known in the DeFi space, and they have a track record of integrity and results. But they're not doxed. So they're real, and that means their real identities are not public knowledge. So if you have any concerns about that, about not knowing exactly who is behind this, then you need to take that into account as well. For me personally, I'm aware of their track record. I know what they've done in the past, and I have a high level of confidence in them, even though I don't know what their real names are. So they're just the main things to be aware of. So end of the day, big question is, should you invest in it? I think that depends entirely on what you think will happen to the price of drip. If it shoots up, then the value of your garden harvest will also skyrocket. And this would be the perfect time to get in because the price is currently so low. So you have the potential to make absolutely insane returns if you believe that the drip price is going to recover. If it doesn't go back up, which is obviously a risk, then at the current low entry price, I think there's still potentially money to be made, but there's a much higher risk and the returns will come much more slowly. Personally, I believe it'll go up, so I'm in and I'm compounding my seeds. I actually have not harvested anything for over 2 weeks now. I did harvest a little bit back in the early March, but I haven't done anything since then. Because the price is so low at the moment, I don't see the point in pulling too much money out. And with a macro belief that drip will go back up, I want to build this nest egg as much as I can. So I'm compounding. But of course, that's purely my personal opinion. You need to do your own research and make your own decisions. I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet. I'm sharing my journey and sharing my opinion purely for entertainment purposes. So make your own choice. All I'm doing is trying to help you provide some information that may be informative for you. All that said, if you share my optimism for the drip price and you're inspired to get into the drip garden as a way to take advantage of the drip price, then there is a link in the description for your convenience. You may choose to use it, and hopefully if you have got some value out of this video, then I would be most grateful if you did. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, comment below, tell me what you think, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to be notified about new videos coming up. You can also join my free email list where I provide ongoing commentary, tips, information, and offers related to building wealth and generating passive income with crypto. And if you want to take it to the next level beyond that, then you might even be interested in joining the Sat Stackers Mastermind, which is where we constantly discuss opportunities like this and many others. It's actually a small but extremely supportive community of crypto enthusiasts, and includes some very experienced and connected whales who regularly bring us profitable opportunities before anyone else is aware of them, and that's a real competitive advantage for us. So it's a great community. It has made a massive difference to my own crypto journey. So if you are interested in being part of a community like that, then the link is in the description below, along with the link for the email address and all the other links I've talked about. Or you can hit me up in the comments if you want more info. So that's it. Hopefully that gives you a bit more insight into the drip garden, and we will see you next time.